Alright, today we want to look at angles in a quadrant. What did I say?
Angles in a quadrant.
Now when we talk about angles in a quadrant, what are we saying? We are looking at the angles that goes around this very point that makes up the 360 degree. Now a quadrant is just 1/4 of a circle. That means a circle divided into what? 4. Now, why do we divide into quadrants? Because the laws that govern each section of that quadrant are different. Now, from this diagram, you can see that we have the quadrant starts from this place. So this is the first quadrant, and it goes in an anti-clockwise direction like this. So we have the first quadrant, the second quadrant, the third quadrant, and the fourth quadrant. The first quadrant has to do with numbers between 0 degree and what? 90 degree. And in this quadrant, all the angles are equal. All the 3 trigonometric functions are positive. They are all positive. That means, what it means is that what? In the first quadrant, sine is positive, cos is positive, tan is positive. Very simple. That one we are very much used to in our right angle triangle. We are very much used to it because right angle triangle, all the angles there are less than what? 90 degrees. So if I give you, for example, sine 38 degree. Now, what we are saying that sine theta is equals to plus sine theta. So whatever angle you are getting, whatever value you get for sine theta, it's going to be what? Plus. So far it is between 0 and what? 90. Likewise, cos is also what? You are still going to get plus on that number. Likewise, tan will still be what? Plus. In application of what I just said, what it means is that, let me say, for example, if I ask you that what is sine 30 degree? Sine 30 degree, we said for the first quadrant, it is what? Plus. So I can be correct to say it's still plus sine 30 degree. And what is 30 degree? 30 degree, sine 30 degree is 1/2. That means my answer here is plus 1/2, or simply what? 1/2. Nothing happens to it, it's just exactly the way it is. Likewise, if it is cos, if it is tan, you just add the number directly. We are used to that. But why are we learning this? Because once the angles you are given is more than 90 degrees, there are some things that you must take note of. Once it is more than 90 degrees, and that is what we want to learn. What are we going to do? If it is cos 60, the same thing. Let's say this is cos 30 degree. We should know our basic angles anyways. Cos 30 degree is also be what? Plus cos 30 degree. And what is cos 30 degree? We should know this, that cos 30 degree is what? Root 3/2. So that will be plus root 3/2 or root 3/2 as we want to talk about it. What about 30 degree? We also have, it will also be the same thing as what? Plus. And that will be what? Root 3/3. So that will also be plus root 3/3 or ordinary what? Root 3/3. Is that clear? Now, but what about in the second quadrant? What happens? What will happen in the second, in the third, in the fourth? In the second quadrant, you can see that what? Only sine is positive there. And there's a way you resolve it. All the other quadrants must be reduced or resolved to fall between 0 and 90 degrees. And that's why we are learning this. They must be reduced to fall within 0 and 90 degrees. Now, sine theta, if the angle is greater than 90 degrees, what are we going to say? We are going to rewrite it by saying plus sine 180 degree minus that angle. So whatever it gives us is our new angle. Plus sine 180 degree minus what? Theta. Remember, in that place we said what? Only sine is positive. That means for cos cannot be positive. Cos should be what? minus. Say minus cos, we do the same thing. 180 degree minus theta. Tan will be what? Plus or minus? Minus tan 180 degree minus theta. From what is the direct explanation of this? What we are saying is that if I give you, for example, sine 120 degree, what do you see about this angle? It's already more than what? 90 degree, right? So what quadrant does it fall in? It falls in what quadrant? First, second, third, or fourth? Second quadrant. Anytime the angle falls in the second quadrant, what must you do? You ask yourself, sine, is it plus or minus?
Plus.
In the second quadrant, sine is plus. So I say what? Plus sine. Then what will I do? 180 degree minus 120 degree. And that gives me plus sine. 180 minus 120 is what? 60 degree. And what is sine 60 degree? Sine 60 degree is what? Root 3 over 2. So I will say that the answer is what? Plus root 3 over 2. Or you simply write what? Root 3 over 2. What if the question was tan? Let's say it is tan 150 degree. What would that be? That would be what? Plus or minus? Minus tan what? 180 degree minus 150 degree. And that's what? Minus tan 30. And what is tan 30 degree? Root 3 over 3. So we have what? Minus root 3 over 3. Is that clear? Yes, so that is how you resolve it. Same thing we discuss, the same thing you do. Now let's look at the third quadrant. How do we resolve when the angle falls in the third quadrant? Listen, now this is the only one that seems a little bit odd among them. So once it falls in the third quadrant, you have to listen carefully to know how it is done. Now, sine theta, when it falls in the third quadrant, which one is positive in the third quadrant?
Tan.
Only tan. So that means every other one will be what?
Minus.
So we have what?
Minus
sine,
minus
cos,
plus
then what?
tan.
Plus tan.
Tan.
But what do we do in this quadrant to solve it? This is what we say. We say minus sine. We now say 180 degree plus, I use another angle here called alpha. That is, whatever they give you that is more than 180 degree. Say 180 degree plus what? We give you that number. So that your answer now will now be minus sine. What is that new thing that you got?
Alpha.
That alpha, minus sine alpha. I do the same thing for this course. I will say what? 180 degree plus alpha. And that will give me what?
Minus cos alpha.
Then what do we have here also? We say what?
180
degree plus alpha. Then so plus tan
alpha.
What does this exactly mean? Let's apply it again in our example. It means if we are given sine, let's say we are given sine 210 degree. It's already more than 90 degrees. So we just do which. So what are we going to do? What quadrant does 210 falls in?
Third.
So it falls in the third quadrant. That's 180, between 180 and 270. So what are we going to say? Sine, is sine plus or minus in that quadrant?
Minus.
So write minus sine. They say what? 180 degree plus 180 degree plus what will give us 210?
30 degree.
30 degree. Why are we getting that? So that the next thing we are not going to write the word minus sine. What did we get here? 30. So it is that 30 that we are going to write. So that we say minus sine what? 30 degree. And what is sine 30 degree? 1 over 2. So we have what? Minus 1 over 2. Do you see it? That is how we solve this. I'll give another example. Let's say what we are given is cos 240 degree. What is cos in the third? What quadrant is 240 degree? The first thing is that what quadrant is what? Third quadrant. Now, what is cos in the third quadrant? What is cos in the third quadrant?
Minus.
In the third quadrant, only tan is positive. So cos is what?
Minus.
So we have minus cos.
Open bracket. 180 degree plus 60 degree.
180 degree
Plus 60
plus
degree.
180 plus what is going to give us 240. That's what?
degree.
60 degree. And that gives us what?
Minus cos 60
degree.
Equals
Is that clear? And what is cos 60 degree?
Minus.
Cos 60 degree is something as what? Sin 30 degree. So we have what? Minus 1 over 2. Is that clear? Now, that is how you solve for the third quadrant. For the fourth quadrant, what do we do? That one is also very simple. What are we going to just do? We say what? Which one is the positive there? Only cos is positive. So we have what? Minus sine. Sine what? 360 degree minus theta. Then this one is plus cos what?
360 degree minus theta.
Then what? Is it plus or minus? Minus tan
360 degree minus theta.
Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Alright. Now, alright. So let's quickly look at what if you are given tan 330 degree. What is tan 330 degree? What quadrant does it fall in?
Fourth quadrant.
Fourth quadrant. So what is tan in that quadrant? Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
So right, minus tan. Minus tan what?
360 degree minus 330.
360 degree minus what?
330 degree.
Or let's say we have 300.
Minus 300.
So we have what? 360 degree minus what?
300 degree.
And that gives us what? Minus tan
60 degree.
60 degree. Now, what is that minus? What is? So for angles greater than 360 degree, what do we do? Simple. Just check. Any number greater than 360 degrees, subtract the 360 from the number until the number becomes smaller than what? 360 degrees. So that we say tan 480 degree minus 360 degree. 480 minus 360, what does that give us? That gives us 120 degree. Now 120 degree is smaller than 360 degree now. So we can now solve it as we have been doing before. And what is that? We check what quadrant does 120 degree fall in. That should be the second quadrant from the second quadrant. And the second quadrant, which one is positive there? Only sign is positive. So that means tan is negative. So I say minus tan. Minus tan what? How do we solve the second quadrant? We say what? 180 degree minus 120 degree. Now, 180 degree minus 120 degree, what does that give us? Minus tan, that's what? 60 degree. And what is tan 60 degree? Tan 60 degree is what? Root 3. So our answer will be what? Minus root 3. As simple as that. So that is how we solve when the number is greater than 360 degree. If you subtract 360 degree from the number and the number is still greater than 360 degree, subtract another 360 degree from it again till it is smaller than 360 degree. The next one, still in that category, is negative angles. Negative angles. So if you are given a negative number, what are we going to do? Let's say, for example, we are given minus 240 degree. What are we going to do? Very simple. When you are given a negative number, what do? Add 360 degree to the number until the number becomes positive. Add this degree to it until it becomes positive. Meaning that what? I will say cos minus 240 degree. I will say plus 360 degree. By the time I add it to it, what am I going to get? I get what? Cos 360 degree minus 240. What does that give us? That gives us what? 120 degree. So we have what? Cos 120 degree. Now positive. Now that it is positive, what do? We can now solve it as usual, checking what quadrant does 120 degree fall into. What quadrant is that? Second quadrant. Which one is, what is cos in the second quadrant? Minus. So we say what? Minus cos 180 degree minus what? 120 degree. That gives us what? Minus cos what? 60 degree. And what is minus cos 60 degree? See, cos 60 degree is what? Sin 30 and cos 60 are the same. That's what? 1 over 2. So minus 1 over 2 is our answer. That is that when we talk about negative angles. Now, we now need to also know that we might be given some kind of angles which we refer to as compound angles. Now, the compound angles do not follow the angle, the one that we are already used to, talking about when they give you something related to angle 60 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 360 degree. We already know the basic thing for all these ones. But compound angles refer to when we are giving two or more. We are not giving any of this one, so we are giving a number which we have to resolve into this one, whether by addition or subtraction. So in the compound angle, before look at sum and difference of angles. Sum and difference of angles. What are we saying? We need to first know that, okay, when we talk about sine, let's say we have two angles now, sine A plus B. It has a formula. We say what? Sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Before I write all the formulas, let me explain what this means. When we are given something like angle 75 degree, angle 75 degree. Now, 75 degree does not fall among all these numbers that we are already familiar with, starting from is 0 degree, 45, and all these things. Now, what do? We have to rewrite this 75 degree using this. So we look at it. Can I add two numbers or subtract one number from the another? Any of this to give us 75 degree. Now, you will agree with me. Okay, among the numbers we also have 30 degree. Don't forget, 0 degree, 30 degree, 60 degree, 45 degree, 90 degree, 180 degree, 260 degree, even 270 degree. These are the basic or cardinal numbers that we want to call them. Now, can I get 75 degree from this? Yes. What do you think? What if I say 30 degree plus 45 degree? Does it give me 75 degree? Yes. Since this gives me 45 degrees, that means I can get, I will now split this into this. So if I'm going to have to split a number into this because it's not among this, the law I use is what? One of them is what? The sum and difference of what? Angles. So we have sine A plus B equals sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Then we also have what? Sine A minus B equals to what? Sine A cos B minus sine A cos B. As simple as that. What about for cos? For cos, if I have cos A plus B, what do we resolve it into? We resolve it into what? Cos A cos B minus sine A sine B. And when we have cos A minus B, we say it is what? Cos A cos B plus sine A sine B. Now, these values, we need to know it offhand. Look at it. When it is cos A minus B, cos A cos B, the sign becomes what? Plus. When it is cos A plus B, cos A plus B, this now becomes what? Minus. You need to know this and memorize it. You need to memorize it for this. How about what's remaining now? We've done for sine, plus and minus, cos, plus and minus. Now it means what? Tan, plus and minus. What is tan A plus B? Tan A plus B will be what? Tan A plus tan B all over 1 minus tan A tan B. Then when we say tan A minus B, that will give us what? Tan A minus tan B over 1 plus tan A tan B. Now, what is the reason for all this? Or how do we solve this? Now, let's look at an example. So, when I give you an example like this, I say you should evaluate this. Maybe, let's say cos 15 degree. Cos 15 degree. Now, is 15 degree among the numbers that we mentioned, the basic ones, 0, 30, 60, 45, 90, 180, 270, 3. Is 15 degree there? No. So the question you now ask yourself, but from this number, I can use plus or minus to get what? 15 degree. So which numbers can I use? Whether plus or minus. Definitely plus may not work, but minus should be able to work. What can minus work to give us 15 degree? Yes, you can see that we can say 45 degree minus 30 degree will give us 15 degree, isn't it? Likewise, what? 60 degree minus 45 degree will give us 30 degree. Now, whichever one you like to use, it is your own. You use your prerogative. So, cos 15 degree, you now use what? If you have decided to use any of this, let's say we decide to use what? 45 minus 30 degree. So I will say this is what? Cos, open bracket, 45 degree minus 30 degree. And from the formula, for this is cos. Cos A, this is now because A minus what? B. So which one? For that means you look for which one is cos A. Cos. This is cos. And it is minus. So cos A minus B says what? Cos A cos B. That means what? Cos 45 cos 30. A, are you seeing it? Then what? When it is minus, what does it say we should do? Plus. So you say what? Plus what? Sine 45 sine what? 30 degree. Then you write the values. What is cos 45? What is cos 45? Cos 45 is what? Root 2 over 2. Then what is tan cos 30? Cos 30 is what? Root 3 over 2. That is why you need to know all these values. Then plus what? What is sine 45? Sine 45 is also what? Root 2 over 2. Then what? Sine 30 is what? 1 over 2. So that's what you saw. Root 2 times root 3, that's what? Root 6 over 4. Plus what? Root 2 over 4. By LCM. So the LCM is what? 4. 4 divided by 4, 1 times we have what? Root 6. Plus what? 4 divided by 4, 1 times root 2, root 2. And that is our answer. So that is just how you do it. So anyone you are giving, you also resolve it into what you have, and then voila, you'll be able to do it. Is that understood?